Hello everyone, this is our South Bear Disc Golf Course hole summary. So first off we have hole 1, it's a downhill shot through a gap, par 4. Your landing area is going to be in this area, and then your second shot up to the basket has a good roll-away potential down the hill, and then you're going to walk to hole 2 this way. Going into hole 2, it's recommended to use a spotter as the tall grass is very tall right now. So we're going to be teeing off from the blue tees. Red tees are down in the lower section. We will try to mark them with red flags before the tournament date. You'll want to be careful as hole 3 does play to this landing area as well. So you're going to have to watch for players on hole 3 as you do the hole. If you are swinging it wide left towards the basket, your river is out of bounds. If you go out of bounds, please use the card's best judgment of where you crossed the creek. If you lose a disc in the tall rough, you have 3 minutes to look, and if you do not find the disc after 3 minutes, you must rethrow from your previous lie, which is usually the tee box. Going into hole 3, there's a mando tree marked off the tee that you're going to have to stay right of. As mentioned previously, your landing area is going to be the big open section, the big bowl, and you're going to want to land in there and make your second shot through the tunnel up towards the basket. We do have red tees as well that act as the drop zone if you're missing the mando from the blue tees. And it plays as a par 4 for the blue tees and a par 3 for the red tees. Hole 4 is quite simple. We do have a new tee box a little further back into the trees, and we've brought the red tee box back to where just up of where the previous blue tee box was, but you're going to play it up into the gap, and then towards the basket there's an OB animal fence running along the left side and an OB road. So if your disc is fully on the road or past the road, it is considered out of bounds. Hole 5 is very simple. You are throwing across the walking path though, so please be aware of any pedestrians that may be going by. Hole 6, it's a tunnel shot. You're going to aim for the large landing area in the middle and then up to the basket. It's played as a par 4 for both blue and reds. Hole 7, you're going to want a spotter to check, make sure the previous card is not putting out on the basket. So you might also want to have a spotter look at the walking path coming out to make sure nobody's biking or coming through as you're teeing off from the blue tees. Also, the spotter is going to have to want to take a look for any discs, as it's very common to end up in these tall bushes here, as the distance is a lot further than most people are capable of throwing. You're going to want to look out as when people finish putting out, they typically walk back along this tree line, although there is a path up the middle of the trees they may take instead. Hole 8 is very simple. Both red and blue throw from the same tee pad. It's just a uphill. You can take left, middle, or right shots. And being 180, this is one of our easiest holes on the course. Hole 9, we do have OB stakes running along the full left side and a couple of OB stakes at the back. Use the card's best judgment if you are fully outside of those stakes. Hole 10, so you play the same stakes OB that hole 9 is playing until you get to the walking path, and then you are free to go left if you want to. We also have an out of bounds area that is the ball diamond to the right. If you go OB, you have the option to throw from the red tees instead of where it crossed OB. Due to the nature of the ball diamond shape, it's just a little simpler to go to the red tee. Hole 11 is our first hole in the woods. Both red and blue are teeing off from the same. You have a right line this way and a left line for the forehand shot or lefty backhand. It's a little bit more overgrown on the left side, but everything filters down towards the basket. Hole 12, there is separate tees for blue and red. So pretty straightforward tunnel shot. There is a down tree across the fairway. It is fairly stable. You may have, it'll be a bit more difficult to throw backhand over the tree, but it just adds to the nature of the hole now. Hole 13, this one is a bit more complicated as the bank is sloughing away slowly, so this landing zone is not as large as it once was. Your blue is teeing off from a further back pad, and your red tees off just along the regular walking path. Try not to go down in front of the red tee, even though it looks like the path. Take the long way around. It's a lot safer, less slippery. There's a marked drop zone. If you go over the edge at all, you're going to proceed to the drop zone or take it from where it crossed as best as the card can decide. The drop zone is a circle 2 putt, so it's recommended. And do not retrieve any lost discs over that edge until after the round due to safety and pace of play. So here are some examples of what the edge looks like right now. Use the card's best judgment to determine if you were on the upper section with the grass or if you were below into the OB area, as shown here. This is our drop zone flag, and there's the basket. So as stated earlier, it is simpler to go to the drop zone and try to putt out for your 3 instead of finding where your disc crossed. And here's an example of somebody using that drop zone in our previous league night. And hole 14, again, red and blue tee off from the same. Hyzer, left hand, but right hand. Either ways, this is a gradual uphill shot. When you're walking out to hole 15, you're going to want to come out of the woods, and the red tee is just as you come out of the woods. You're going to want to walk on the walking path along the OB line until you get past the first big clump of trees. It's well trod out, and you'll be able to see the signage for the blue tee back here. On our signs on the course, it is marked OB along this edge. For the tournament, it will not be played as OB as per this sign due to a lawn mowing incident. There's also out of bounds walking path, bike trail on the left if you happen to make it through the trees. Hole 16, so this goes back along where hole 15 was playing. There, as stated earlier, the sign on the course has an OB line marked. That OB line is currently not there, so there will be no OB played to the right. We will have OB ball diamonds to the left as you approach the basket and off the drive. Here's a picture off 16's tee with one of the broken stakes, and you'll see that there are no stakes running along this line, so no OB played for 15 and 16, separating the 2 holes. Hole 17, it's highly recommended to use a spotter at the top of this bowl area, especially if you have people on your card who are willing to throw the large shot to get to the basket. As you cannot see the basket off the tee, you're going to want to make sure the previous card is not in your line of fire. The red tees are just up and to the left of the blue tee box. This is the same bowl that hole 2 and 3 play on, so also make sure that when you're throwing towards the basket, nobody is in your way on from hole 2 or hole 3's fairway. And going to hole 18, this is our signature hole. There's a rock ring surrounding the basket. That rock ring represents safe landing area. You can also land on the road and before to also be safe, but anything past the road before the rocks is a hazard. You play it where it lies, but you take a 1-stroke penalty. Here's an example. 4 discs placed. Mario Star is safe. Our yellow disc leaning against the rocks is safe. This red disc here, you can see it is beyond the rock edge, so it is in the hazard area. So the rocks play as hazard. If you are completely on the outside of the rocks, it is a hazard. And if you're on the rocks completely, it's a hazard. So you need to be inside that rock line to be safe. You play it as it lies, taking a 1-stroke penalty. Use the best judgment of your card. If your card has debate over whether it's a hazard or not, take a picture, play it out as per normal, and bring it to the tournament director, who will make a ruling at the time if you should take a hazard stroke or not. And that rounds out our 18 holes at South Bear. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy playing the course.